La 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 la. Yes, Carsanovians. Alright, boys, I've had a shave, so if my face looks a bit red, it's because I haven't yet developed the emotional maturity to not scratch myself when I shave. Anyway, I've got a big announcement to make. I'm pregnant. I don't know if it's a boy or a girl yet, but we'll find out. So yeah, I'm gonna have a baby shower probably next week. Baby's due 2 days from now. It's probably gonna be a messy birth. So yeah, just maybe drop name ideas in the comments. I'm open to suggestions. I like the name Hezekiah. I think it means something along the lines of strength in God. I really like that name, Hezekiah. Polysyllabic, sesquipedalian word. It's nice. Anyway, that's not the announcement. The announcement is on 21st to 23rd of June 2024. I'm going to be running a 3-day in-person Barcelona coaching workshop. All right, so I'm really excited to do this. I'm going to be in Barcelona anyway the week before because I've got a one-to-one coaching experience with someone who's in my private network, the Entourage, in the Entourage, which I'm really looking forward to. I was like, well, whilst I'm over that side in one of Europe's most electric cities, why not run a one-off special limited edition 3-day workshop? So yeah, if you're interested in working with me personally, then you can apply to join. There's a link below if you're interested in joining me out in Barcelona and just having just a fucking good time, man. Like my in-person workshops, for anybody who's done an in-person workshop with me, they know how fun they are. So yeah, 3-day workshop with me in Barcelona. So it's daytime and nighttime. It's £3,000 per person, but if you sign up by the 1st of May, so midnight, 1st of May UK time, then you get everything for £2,000. So it's an action taker bonus. There's a link below. If you're interested in it, then click it. You also get 1 month of access into my private network, the Entourage, after the experience is finished as well. So yeah, I'm not going to be in Europe for that much time this year. I'm probably going to come back over this side of the world after about August. So yeah, this is the most affordable opportunity that you've got to work with me in person. So full 3-day workshop plus an entire month of access to my private network, the Entourage. That includes direct access to me on WhatsApp, weekly group coaching calls, connecting with the rest of my guys in our private WhatsApp group. So yeah, unreal value. I think it's a great deal. So yeah, link below if you're interested. If you're not interested, then you can get my free courses. I'll link those below as well. So yeah, cool. Barcelona, 21st to 23rd of June 2024. Sign up before midnight on the 1st of May to get a £1,000 action taker discount. So yeah, cool. I wanted to dedicate this live stream. I've titled it something along the lines of, this is what happens to men who cold approach girls with like a shocked face to create some sort of like aghast expression. But I do think that men who learn how to cold approach they enter this rarefied realm of men. So one of the guys in my private network, the Entourage, he sent a message through and he explained to us that he went out cold approaching, and then after he'd finished cold approaching, he sent a voice message to the main girl who he's seeing, and he explained that when he sent this voice message, she responded saying, "I'm so turned on by you right now," right? So he'd been having a lot of FaceTime with the feminine. He'd been putting himself through the social fire. He was identifying girls who he was attracted to. And then after working with me, he now has the emotional bravery to go and deliver his value to the world. So he's just like ping-ponging between loads of beautiful women. And then when his session comes to a close, he voice messages his main girl, and she is receiving all of this nourishing feminine energy. She's receiving all of this testosterone, this energy of a risk taker, right? Like there is something about men who cold approach where it's like it's just different. Yeah, the guys in my private network, the Entourage, right? all of us have bonded over the discipline of day game, right? I define day game as the decentralized skill set of the awake 1%. It really feels like a glitch inside of the matrix. It feels like a cheat code into the sexual marketplace. Yeah, whilst the rest of men are swiping their lives away on a screen or settling for low quality girls in grotty nightclubs, we can just penetrate straight to the source, meaning we can see a woman who we find attractive, maybe she's strutting down the street during the day, and we can just go over to her. Now, to most men, this just does not compute in their reality. They're like, wait, that's actually possible, because most men are just sleepwalking through life and they wake up when the best years are behind them. So day game is a decentralized skill set of the awake 1%. I also describe it as a discipline that takes me closer to the divine. Like, I do believe that there is a spiritual element associated with day game, which I feel as though a lot of guys are aware of, but they struggle to define. Like, you'll know it yourself, right? Imagine you've gone out and you've had one of the best day game sessions of your entire life. You've had the best approach. Maybe you went out and you did your first ever direct cold approach, right? And you're walking on air after that. Yeah, you realize that your limitations were hallucinations, and then it holds a magnifying glass up to the rest of your life. It's like, wait, if I can do this, then I can do anything, right? And that's why I believe men who master this skill set of day game, they become top 1% players in the sexual marketplace, because it's like, wow, if I can do this, I can do anything, yeah? I used to think I was confident before I got involved with cold approach, because I'd been a magician for 10 years. But I realized that all I had was situational confidence. If I had a deck of cards in my hand and I was in a comfortable environment, like performing magic at a wedding or on stage performing a magic show where I had that relative value, I had that status, then yeah, I was hashtag confident. But take away my props, put me in a room full of strangers, and I don't have any magic, any props on me, then I didn't have that confidence. I didn't have that true core confidence where I felt like, throw me in hell, I'll find a way to enjoy it. No matter what, I can do it. And now, like, when I move through the world, I feel like the king of my reality. And I think that's what every single guy wants. And I think every guy wants to receive love from the feminine, admiration from the masculine. If he's completely honest with himself, he just wants to feel fucking good about himself, right? I think that's what this decentralized skill set of the awake 1% gives us. It's like being able to move through the world, being just a supremely confident motherfucker. Yeah, it's like, yeah, this is me, take it or leave it. Once you know that you can put yourself through the social fire and you've unlocked the skill which unlocks the rest of the world, you feel bulletproof, you feel unstoppable, you feel as though you can achieve anything. And what I found to be true as well is guys who cold approach, you have a special type of relationship with each other. Like the guys in my private network, the Entourage, like I would do anything for those guys, right? I would do anything. They're my best friends, like they're my family. And it's like the conversations that I'm able to have with other like-minded guys, like just guys who get it. Do you know what I mean? I think that is a big part of the masculine journey. It's attracting your people and repelling the rest. It's finding your tribe, finding that tribe of like-minded people, entering a masculine support network, an echo chamber of empathy where you're connected with other like-minded guys who actually get it, guys who you can talk with, guys who you can travel the world with, go down the pub and have a laugh with. Like, that's what this should be. Yeah, I've heard so many horror stories in the past where guys have met other guys who cold approach, right? But the only thing they've got in common is cold approach, right? It's like, if it wasn't for the discipline of day game, then these people wouldn't be friends, right? And it's so important to me that every single person in my network, the Entourage, is able to connect with the rest of us of other things as well, like having other passions, other hobbies. Like we can all go on a trip to Stockholm together and we can talk about more than just day game. Yeah, like it goes deeper than day game, and cold approach is a catalyst for the rest of your life. But all the guys in my network, it's like I can talk to them about anything and they can talk to me about anything. It's just, I don't know what it is, it's hard to describe. There's just there's just a special type of bond when it's like, it almost feels like you're brothers who go to war together. It's like you spent time in the trenches together because like you know how difficult the process is. So it's like there's this mutual respect there. Do you know what I mean? It's like, yeah, bro, I appreciate what you're doing. I know what you're doing. I know how difficult it is. I can imagine where you started off in life and where you're at now. There's this really amazing story which I want to share now. One of our guys in the Entourage, he's one of our older members. I worked with him in Krakow last year. We did a 3-day workshop together, and just you know who you are, bro. I just want to say, like, you've just, dude, you've just exploded your life in less than a year. Like, you're just so much more confident now, so much more socially capable. And I think every time that we speak, you're becoming a new person. You're becoming a new person every week. And I think that's just a beautiful product of this process. It's like, wow, we actually are changing our lives one approach at a time. And I think that's amazing. But he was bullied heavily as a child. And a couple of weeks ago at one of our group coaching calls, he said to us, there's a school reunion going on at my old school, right? This was the school that he got bullied at. And he explained to us that he's going to go back to this point of origin and he's going to confront the people who used to bully him, right? Not in a confrontational way, but he just wanted to be in that space. He wanted to see them. He wanted to look them in the eyes. He wanted to shake their hand and just see how they developed as well. And in all my years of coaching in this space, I really think that was one of the most profound moments that I've ever had. Like, I spoke to my mum about it on the phone a couple of days afterwards, and she said, that's actually fucking beautiful. It's like, I'm putting content out there into the world because I want to inspire a generation of men to live a life beyond the beige. Yeah, we're talking about cold approach, we're talking about attracting women, going on multiple dates a week. It's like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I'll get you all that shit, but for me, that's the surface level stuff. Yeah, it's like, what are we really doing on this process? Like, for me, it's a process of self-adoration. It's overcoming that perceived lack of self-worth. It's overcoming all the negative self-talk and bullshit beliefs that you fed yourself your entire life. And ultimately, it's forging a new identity through the fires of adversity. So he returned back to the school that he got bullied at. He confronted the bullies, just like not in a confrontational way, just like shook the hand, found out how they were going, like very, very cordial about it, very mature, like how he developed. And then he came on to the next group coaching call the week later, and he was saying, first of all, how elated that he was actually able to have the emotional bravery to return back to that place of origin, a place that harbored a lot of trauma in his life. And without this process of cold approach, then it's like, would that have been possible? I don't think so, because I think that cold approach allows us to become a version of ourselves that we wouldn't have been otherwise. And yeah, he came onto the call and he was like, yeah, I went back. And you know, it's crazy because the people that I went to school with, the guys who used to bully me, they're not doing anything now. Yeah, they've not developed. They're still basically in the same position they've been for the past 30 years. They're working dead-end jobs. They've not progressed. They've not developed. And it's like, I think sometimes silence has got the loudest voice. Yeah, like, I think just being able, where like he was able to return there, and like he's in really good shape. He's looked after himself. He's developing his social skills. He's becoming the most fuckable version of himself. He's developing this core confidence. So it's like he's able to return back to that point of origin, being like, yeah, fuck you, you know, but without having to say that, because like evidence has got the loudest voice. Like, he's able to just go back to that traumatic place and just be like, yeah, I've done well for myself. And I think that's what happens to men who learn this skill set. Yeah, it does go deeper than day game. Yeah, cold approach really is the catalyst for the rest of your life. And I think that something that's important to me, which I've explained in previous live streams, is even when I decide to get into a committed long-term relationship, I'm still going to exercise the skill set of cold approach. Not because I want to sleep with every girl who I'm communicating with, but it's an extension of my freedom from bullshit personality. I still need to feel free in my relationship. That doesn't mean that I'm free to go and sleep around. No, I don't want that. I think this whole multiple relationships with multiple women is a pile of bollocks. It's like, why can't, if you've got discipline in your day-to-day life, then why can't you develop some sort of sexual discipline, right? It's a bunch of garbage. But I do think that that whole red pill, hyper-masculine dogma, I do think that we've seen the peak of that now. I think guys are starting to wake up. They're realizing that they were brainwashed by the brain dead into wanting to become something that other people had told them they should want to, like make lots of money, become a high value man, be emotionally detached. Like, that shit's gone. Yeah, that shit is so old. Like, kind of, I look back at that era. It's a weird era to be alive. That it just sickens me. It sickens me how so many young men were getting brainwashed by the brain dead. Yeah. But anyway, it's important for me to continue to exercise this skill set of call approach in relationships, because the way that I see it is women are never out of the game. Yeah, let's say I'm in a relationship with a gob-smackingly gorgeous girl. She's still getting DM'd on Instagram. When she goes out with her friends, she's still getting approached at the club. She's still getting looks from guys. She's still getting approached on the street, maybe. Probably one of my Entourage members. Get away from her. But like, she's never out of the game, right? So she's always being reminded of her desirability. I think it's just as important for men to still be reminded of our desirability, to still feel fuckable, to still feel validated by other women. Not because we want to sleep with them, but I think it's sexy for the woman as well. Like, no woman wants to be with a guy who other women don't want, right? Women want what other women want. And in the relationships that I've had in my life, women fucking love it. They love being, like, with a version of me now, like maybe not so much 4 years ago. Like, if you're new here, if you go back to my oldest videos, you'll see the stark contrast. Yeah, 4 years ago, I'm gonna narrate it again. 4 years ago, I looked like a turnip, I dressed like a moron, and I couldn't pull a muscle. So you go back to my oldest videos, you can see the transformation for yourself. But now when I'm with girls, I'm going out for dates with them, it's almost like I'm like their trophy boyfriend. Do you know what I mean? It's like they're proud to show me off, because there's this competition anxiety amongst women, right? Women want what other women want. No woman wants to be with a guy who other women don't want. But I think it's important for me in my life, especially because this is my job as well, so maybe it's different, but I still think that if you're a guy and you're going to enter a monogamous relationship with a woman, I think that you should still be able to exercise this skill set, because I think it's important for your overall mental health and mental clarity and sense of self-esteem as well. But that's a conversation that you would have with your woman. Like, don't just be day gaming on the sly. Like, you want to be having that open conversation with her. Like, listen, this is something that I really enjoy doing. In order for me to bring my best self to this relationship, I want to continue to be able to do this. It's like if I got into a relationship with a girl and she was like, nah, you have to stop going to the gym now because it's making you look too sexy. It's like, if a girl said to me, nah, I don't want you to cold approach because it makes me feel insecure, then I would struggle being in a relationship with that girl, because my main relationship is the relationship that I have with myself. And if I feel as though I'm in a relationship which castrates me of my freedom, that's not a relationship that I want to be in. So it's just an interesting one, but it's just this abundance mindset. Yeah, it's abundance is not always having, it's knowing you can have. And I do think that men who don't cold approach, men who don't learn this skill set of, let's call it, organic acquisition, a lot of guys fall into relationships, they lose themselves in that relationship. It's not a case of I want her, it's a case of I just want someone. And then if they get lucky and they find a girl who likes them, I've done this myself, when that relationship ends, when that relationship crumbles, they're in pretty much the same position that they started, apart from now it's even worse, because they've wasted a lot of time and now they don't know how to acquire, right? So abundance, it's not always having, it's knowing that you can have. I've told a story before about a guy who I coached in London last year. He applied to work with me after coming out of a 10-year long-term relationship with a woman who he had children with. And when he first applied to work with me, the dating marketplace had changed so much. He'd met his other half down the pub, right? So when he re-entered the dating marketplace 10 years later, it was so different, right? And he wasn't sure if he's actually going to be able to succeed. It's like, fuck, how do I navigate this? It's like everything's changed now. We've got social media, we've got dating apps, like, and I'm trying to navigate this whole world of cold approach. It was a minefield for him. But then after working together, after taking him through the process that I take all my guys with, now he's in the best position of his life, right? He's in a relationship with a woman 7 years younger than him. She's actually moved in with him now, so that's fucking beautiful. And yeah, and like that's what happens to men who learn cold approach. You're able to operate from a place of wholeness rather than from a place of lack. And I believe that once you've mastered the skill set of cold approach, you set yourself up for the best relationships of your life, because it's like, out of all the options available, I want you. Right? And I think that's what women want. They don't want you to be with them because you can't get anybody else. They don't want your loyalty to be based off of scarcity. They want your loyalty to be based off of choice, off of abundance, of knowing that you could have other options, but you're choosing her. Yeah, and I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a beautiful byproduct of guys who actually take the time to learn this skill of cold approach. Let me finish off on a really practical element, because there was a subscriber yesterday who asked me, it was actually a really good question. And he said, okay, Kristian, I'm pretty new to this whole cold approach thing. I want to develop proficiency. How do I go about it? Should I be treating it like a gym workout where I dedicate specific slots of time to going out and, let's say, day game deliberately? Or should I, when I leave the house, just try and approach girls as they walk past me, like on the fly, more spontaneous? So I gave him my no bullshit advice. I think that a lot of commentators in this space, first of all, most people who give advice in this space, they don't actually have a fucking clue what they're talking about, because they've never cold approached in their life, right? They just give talking head advice online. It's like they don't have any skin in the game. So I said to him that a lot of people who give advice in this space, they'll try and sell a pipe dream, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, bro, if you're just new to this, just go outside, and when you see a girl, like when you're on your way to buy a new pair of jeans or go into the gym, then just go over, just approach her. And it's like, dude, that just doesn't fucking work. It's like telling a guy who's never bench pressed in his life, just go over and just start benching. It's like, you need to know the correct form. You need to have an idea of what you're actually doing in your head. Otherwise, like, you don't know what you don't know. You're probably going to get injured. So what I said to him was, yeah, treat it just like a gym exercise. Treat it like a gym workout. So if you can dedicate 2 90-minute sessions per week, and within those 90-minute sessions, if you can aim to do 7 direct cold approaches, then you're in a really good place. Do that for the next 2 months. Now you're starting to develop proficiency. Now it starts to feel a lot more natural. Now it starts to feel like something you are rather than something that you do. And then maybe when you do see that girl on your way to university, on your way to work, on your way to the gym, because you've been putting the reps in, because you've been training yourself to act on immediacy, then yeah, maybe you can go over and speak to that girl. I still do think, though, that when guys want to integrate this skill set into their lifestyle, for me, to actually make this a reality, I've always found that setting the intention to myself before I leave the house is important. So I'll just say something to myself. Like when I leave the house these days, I just say to myself, just like a little meditation to myself, I just say, okay, when I leave the house, if I see somebody who interests me, I'll go over and I'll speak to that person, right? It's mentally preparing me. It's like I'm mentally lubricating myself for the possibility of something. Yeah, a lot of time when guys leave the house, they're feeling groggy, they're not actually thinking about approaching, and then that gobsmackingly gorgeous girl just zips past them. It's like they've not mentally prepared themselves for the opportunity. So I would say for next 2 months, aim to day game deliberately, set aside 2 90-minute sessions a week. I know it feels a little bit weird at first because you don't want to be that guy who's like deliberately day gaming. I get that, but suck it up. You know, it's like, you got to spend some time in the trenches. That's what I did. Yeah, I didn't, like, hopefully you boys understand, like, this is not pickup, right? We're not becoming fucking pickup artists. If you consider yourself a pickup artist, for fuck's sake, get off this channel. You're a loser, you're a moron, and you're a degenerate. Fuck fuck off. But for people who actually want to learn this skill set, just the skill set of being able to talk to women who they find attractive, they want to learn day game, but they don't want to become a day gamer. At the start, you are just going to need to have deliberate day game sessions because you need to develop proficiency. You need to get skin in the game. You need to get at least 100 direct cold approaches in before you've got any voice in this space. So yeah, have your 90-minute session, do it for a couple of months, and then see where you're at after those 2 months. So yeah, hopefully this live stream has been useful to you boys. If you're interested in joining me out in Barcelona for the greatest weekend of your fucking summer in Europe's one of Europe's most electric cities, surrounded by scrumptious, sexy senoritas, then yeah, link below, apply. Like I say, you get a £1,000 action taker bonus if you sign up before the 1st of May, midnight UK time. And you get a 1 month access into the Entourage as well. So yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a crazy summer, crazy 3 days in Barcelona. I'm looking forward. Like, if you resonate with me, you like what I do, and you're thinking, yeah, fuck yeah, I want to spend 3 days with this fucker. I want to learn from him. I want to soak up his approach to life. I want to become part of his private network. Then link below, click it. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you for the best summer ever. Ever is spelled EVA, ever. Anyway, boys, love you very much. If you're new here, give the live stream a like, subscribe to the channel. Doing a live stream every single day of the year. Hope you've enjoyed this one. Let me know what I should call my baby in the comments below. All right, love you. Bye.